The story of Carlo Acutis, the young blessed. Hello and welcome to this new video. Today, I want to share with you the tale of an extraordinary young man who has become incredibly famous, not because of his football skills, singing talents, or a viral TikTok video, but rather for his sanctity. I'm talking about Carlo Acutis. Do you know him? Well, let's explore together a bit more about his life. Music. Carlo was a young boy who grew up in Milan and tragically passed away at the age of 15 due to a sudden leukemia. He was beatified by Pope Francis on October 10, 2020, which means that the Church recognized in him virtues and values that allowed him to live a life worthy of heaven, from where he can intercede for people on earth. Intercede, meaning to mediate, help, assist, and provide aid. Despite being just a 15-year-old boy, he was declared blessed. What can he teach other Christians? Well, let's go step by step. Carlo was born on May 3, 1991, in London, where his parents were working at the time. Later, the entire family returned to Milan, where Carlo grew up. Those who knew him say he was an ordinary boy, a good son, a diligent student, who enjoyed playing with his friends. He liked video games. There was no PlayStation 5 or Fortnite back then, but the games were still pretty good. He enjoyed sports, listening to music, playing the saxophone, watching detective movies, and helping others. After receiving his first communion at the tender age of 7, he continued to be an active member of his parish, even after his confirmation, which is quite unusual even in today's times. He devoted himself to the younger children, teaching catechism and assisting them with their homework. He understood that the world changes for the better through acts of kindness, not grand proclamations. He would serve meals to the needy at a soup kitchen. Despite coming from a well-off family, he never missed an opportunity to share what he had with the less fortunate. With the help of his housekeeper, he would take food in sleeping bags to the homeless he encountered on the streets near his home. He was always willing to lend a hand, despite being just 15 years old. From a young age, Carlo was deeply enamored with the life of Jesus. He found solace not only in attending Sunday Mass but also during the week. Yes, he loved going every day. He was a regular attendee at the Rosary recitation and Eucharistic adoration. In these practices, he found the strength and motivation to be a shining example of love, a true Christian with a capital C in his simplicity, in his life as a 15-year-old boy, alternating between the school desk and the soccer field. What struck many people the most was his harmony and tranquility in facing life, even in the face of challenges, as we will see shortly, when he battled a life-threatening illness. This inner peace came from the sacraments and his faith in God. His famous quote is, "Sadness is looking at oneself, happiness is looking at God." Jesus was his friend, his teacher, his father, his role model, and he never hesitated to bear witness to his faith or go against the grain when necessary. He understood that love means fighting against injustices, standing with the weakest and most vulnerable, and he never shied away from this duty, despite his young age. He displayed an uncommon maturity, depth, and sensitivity. He excelled in school and attended the classical Lyceum Leone 13 in Milan. He was highly intelligent and passionate about computers. In those years, technology wasn't as advanced as it is today. There was no Alexa to control lights or TikTok, so computers and the internet were becoming increasingly integrated into daily life. It seems he was a bit of a computer genius, writing programs and creating a blog where he discussed his deepest passion, Jesus. In this blog, he curated virtual exhibitions, including one about Eucharistic miracles, to raise awareness about the importance of the Eucharist, which, in his view, was fundamental to Christian life. He loved to say, "You get a tan in front of the sun, but in front of Jesus in the Eucharist, you become a saint." Thus, he leveraged his skills to spread the good news even in the virtual world. Everything was going well until October 2, 2006, when Carlo fell ill. Initially, it was thought to be a simple flu, but on October 8, his condition deteriorated, and he was urgently transferred to the hospital, where he was diagnosed with a severe form of leukemia, M3, a blood cancer that could claim a life within days. Unfortunately, this was the case for Carlo. On the morning of October 12, 2006, his heart stopped beating. He was just 15 years old. Even in the intense pain of those days of illness, when doctors asked him how he was, he would respond, "There are others who suffer much more than me." Even in the most challenging and trying moments of his life, he had a heart for others and for God. That day, Carlo's heart stopped, but a star lit up in the sky, illuminating the lives of countless people. Thanks to Carlo, many have found faith, peace, and solace. His reputation for sanctity has spread worldwide, and people from all corners of the planet pray to him and invoke his intercession. His first recognized miracle by the Church happened in Brazil, where a child suffering from a severe pancreatic disease was miraculously healed after seeking Carlo's intercession. This illustrates just how well known he is globally. Pope Francis has presented him as a youthful model of sanctity in the digital age. He effectively harnessed his abilities for the greater good and love. He was beatified on October 10, 2020, and since then, the Church commemorates his memory every October 12. His remains rest in the sanctuary of the Renunciation in Assisi, a city he held close to his heart. Every year, thousands of faithful visit his tomb to pray. Carlo's life reminds us of the importance of never losing our uniqueness. One of his most famous quotes is, "Everyone is born an original, but many die as photocopies." With his simplicity and normality, Carlo teaches us and reminds us that we are all called to holiness, with no exceptions, and that it is the only path to true happiness. Well, thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it and found it insightful. If you liked it, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and share the video. If you want to learn more about Carlo Acutis, you can find a link to the website with photos, videos, and testimonials in the video description. I thank you all.